And the Prime Minister has offered his sympathy to a Londoner facing 60 years in an American jail for hacking into US military computers.
Well, Gary McKinnon, who suffers from Asperger's syndrome, is facing extradition to the US. Well, today Gordon Brown said that he was concerned that the case raised a number of issues. But will the Prime Minister's sympathy turn into action? Damien Stewart has the story.
It's been 7 long years since Gary McKinnon first found himself threatened with extradition. He could have been prosecuted here for breaking into defence computers and faced a 1-year sentence at most. So far, our government has refused to intervene. But today, for the first time, the man at the top had something to say about it.
Now, the Gary McKinnon case raises a number of issues. And anybody who looks at this must be sympathetic to someone who suffers from Asperger's syndrome. However, there are court cases pending at the moment, one challenging the Director of Public Prosecution for his judgment, and I think we've got to wait for the outcome of these court cases. I don't think people want a law which gives the Home Secretary absolute discretion in who comes in and who comes out of the country by way of extradition.
But the Prime Minister continued to defend what many see as an unfair and one-sided deal with the Americans.
I think you're always going to look at what arrangements you have and whether they're working, but I think if you look at the number of people that have been extradited from Britain to the United States under the treaty, they've been drug offences, they've been sexual offences, they've been violent offences. I think there is only one that is a terrorist offence.
For Gary's mother, Janis, it's a reasonable start.
I was incredibly pleased that he actually said he had sympathy, but now I'm hoping that he'll put that into actions rather than words. The Home Secretary can prevent the extradition of Gary. Gary's solicitor has said so, and so did 2 other solicitors, one of whom was in Cherie Blair's chambers, and they says absolutely that the Home Secretary can prevent the extradition of Gary.
Now, the Prime Minister says he sympathises with Gary's predicament, but he still seems to not see the problems with the extradition treaty.
The Americans require an evidential test which they can contest in an American court before they're extradited, so this is a safeguard. There is no evidential test for British citizens, and we cannot contest the allegations in court, so we have no safeguards. Why shouldn't we have equal rights to Americans?
And so Gary McKinnon's long wait for some sort of justice continues. Damien Stewart, London Tonight.